My name is Suraj Vishwanathan from YallaMotor, and today is quite a special day. We have been invited by Ford Middle East to New Delhi, India to attend something very special, and they are calling it City of Tomorrow. Sounds interesting now, doesn't it?
I think the City of Tomorrow is something that's been long in the coming, but as we sit here in a city like New Delhi, and Dubai is not that much different in terms of the density of the population, and so simply adding more cars to the road, which is already at a deep congestion right now, doesn't seem like the right solution. So Ford is trying to say, we want to help the world resolve its mobility problems. We believe that we actually can make people's lives better through mobility services. So that means that it'll include individual vehicle ownership like we see today, but how might we help cities figure out new solutions, multimodal solutions? So sometimes you want to drive your car, but sometimes you want to take a train, sometimes you want to rent a bike, sometimes you want to hail a cab or a Lyft service or a ride-hailing service. Maybe we can be the arbiter or the guide that says, you know what, if you were to take a different mode, you could save a lot of time, and there will be days that you want one or the other. Maybe we could get into a space where we help you reserve your parking spot before you ever leave your home, or we extend the meter on where your car is already parked. So there's much more complexity going forward, but we think ultimately this will make transportation smoother, mobility more graceful, more accessible, more affordable, and do so in a way that still respects the environment. There will be lots of issues, and that's exactly what City of Tomorrow is about, to the extent of saying, we, as an auto manufacturer, we know the technology works, it exists, and it can be done. But that doesn't mean it's ready for the market. You have to figure out things like insurance, regulations, how litigation will happen, what do urban planners want. And for those systems to work, you also have really connected infrastructure. An autonomous future might include vehicle-to-vehicle communication. The tech's there, but it's the other elements. And so we bring all of these stakeholders together at events like the City of Tomorrow. And we say, how will we resolve this? What can we do together? Let's bring our best and brightest minds to contemplate this problem, collaborate, and come up with solutions that work for everyone. I think it's interesting because you talk about Delhi and Dubai, which are so different from one another. And with respect to their differences, we think the solutions will have to be different. They'll have to be organic, they'll have to be homegrown. And so you have to take into account, like, is there going to be a cow that occasionally walks past your vehicle? That's not something that's likely to happen in the city of Detroit, but in New Delhi, it's not uncommon. And so that's why these solutions have to be done locally. You have to talk to the people who live there, who govern there, who make the policies. I think they'll coexist. I mean, you can tell your friends and family in Dubai they have nothing to worry about because Ford is run by people who love cars. There's still the thrill of the open road. And in some places of the world, you can find those roads easily and pedal to the metal, wind in your hair, the whole romantic thoughts about automobiles. And I think this is evidenced by the fact that even as we work forward on developing our technology for autonomous vehicles, we still continue to invest very, very heavily in our performance vehicles. So it's a parallel path.
Today we are joined by two very special people, Mr. Raj Rao and Mr. Jeffrey. We are here to talk about something really special, and that is City of Tomorrow. And we have these two lovely gentlemen to tell us what it's exactly about.
Yeah, a City of Tomorrow is where mobility thrives, where the city is fully capable of answering the four most important issues that the city of today is facing. One is around addressing this notion of urbanization, where you have much larger groups of people living in megacities, where mobility is able to provide efficient movement for a larger base of population living in cities tomorrow, where the issue of pollution and congestion is addressed, where people's quality of life is standard of living and their economic prosperity is not undermined by chronic congestion and pollution levels. Third is where everyone has access to a vehicle, whereas rising incomes in the city of tomorrow let people invest more in mobility. They're able to not just buy vehicles, but they can share mobility, they can share vehicles, and they can move more freely without necessarily having to own a vehicle of their choice. And fourthly, I think the infrastructure would have been transformed. The infrastructure would get smart. Roads would be, not constrained by the rigidity of buildings, where city planners would be able to create more livable cities. So we think these four are going to be the key things that would define the city of tomorrow, where things are more electrified, things are more connected and shared. Those are the things that we think would be happening in the city of tomorrow. I think, whether we start with AVs as being intertwined with existing vehicles or sharing roads, I think our view is let's start with the human experience. What is the human experience of AVs? What will it be used for? What will we want an AV to do for us? How will we want to interact with an AV? Where will AV fit in our daily lifestyle? Will we use AVs to get our children to school? Or will we use AVs to deliver pizza to us? These are questions we are trying to answer right now. And once we figure out exactly where AVs can enhance our lives in the city of tomorrow, I think deploying those fleets would be much more straightforward because we would know why we would be doing it.
Even before then, there's opportunities today to really make a difference. I mentioned it's a partnership between the public and between private industry to help really come up with that solution, right? And because it's more than just traditional privatized car ownership, selling vehicles directly to consumers. It's also looking at opportunities for ride-hailing, ride-sharing, other solutions, multimodal transportation, which is using a combination of different transport needs to get from A to B to C, and doing that in a seamless manner. And that's one of the things that we're focused on as we look at the city tomorrow, work with.
The city of tomorrow will become a reality based on the opportunity that Jeff just spoke about, which is this partnership between citizens in cities, the local government, businesses and institutions wanting to drive a fast transformation into that city of tomorrow. So I think preparedness and having a framework for implementation goes a long way, but also partnerships and getting the right stakeholders to embrace that opportunity. We think it'll move forward quickly, and we're gearing up with ride-sharing services and car share services and also the use of data and analytics to really empower that change.